Hi, guys.
Hello there, Facebook family and friends. How are you today? Good. Glad to hear it. So we wanted to jump on here tonight and talk a little bit about our story and how we've learned how to rid our house of toxins and just help become a healthier family.
We wanted to start off by just talking about how it all came about. Like, there was this pop-up ad on my... I'm gonna get rid of this because I'll get super distracted. It was this pop-up thing that said, could your makeup be toxic? And everybody will say things like, oh, everything causes cancer. We're just going to do whatever we want because everything causes cancer. And so I kind of rolled my eyes at it, honestly. And then I was like, well, we had at that point had Hudson, who had cancer, fought and beat it already at that point because he was like 2 years old when we found Young Living 2.5. And so I was like, well, it doesn't hurt to look, because the doctors couldn't give us any answers. The geneticists came in and they said, sorry, it's not genetic. I mean, yay, it's not genetic, but sorry, we don't have any answers for you. They did not tell me that the American Cancer Society says that 95% of cancers are toxin caused. Why would they tell me that? That's something that I could stop from happening, right? And so I had no clue and just started digging. And what I found was that in my research that what was in our products that we were using in our home, guys, we all become parents and we just are trying our best, right? We just buy the things that we think will work. I got Dreft because it was in the white bottle and it had the picture of the mom and the baby on it. It's one of the worst things you can have in your house. I didn't know. I bought all of the white bottles. I bought all of the stuff that would say pure, clean, because I thought I have babies in the house and I don't know, that's my best guess. And I found out that all those things that were my best guesses were actually hormone disruptors and reproductive destroying chemicals. And if you are new to being our friend, or if we've just met, you may not know that we have had 2 miscarriages. One we had before Cohen was born, or before Cohen. Sorry, my voice is getting a little shaky. I get nervous to talk about it. And then we lost twins between Cohen and Hudson. So when I saw that the things in our products had reproductive destroying chemicals in them and hormone disruptors, that was hard. But the hardest part was when we found out that the stuff, especially the things like the Dreft and the things that we picked specifically for the babies, had endocrine disruptors in them, and Hudson's cancer was in his endocrine system. And so obviously we felt very much at fault. At least and we've since gotten past this. It's just hard
when you think you're doing everything you're supposed to do because that's what they say to do, and they say what's good for your babies, to know that may not have been the case is tough. But it also pushed us to look for other alternatives and look for other ways and other things that we can do to help keep our son from relapsing, from them getting another form of cancer or getting sick or just not being healthy overall. And
or us getting sick.
Or us, yeah, or the ones we love, family, friends, whomever. And what we found is that there are other ways to there's other options out there that they don't make as known, and they do take a little bit of work, and they do take a little bit of getting used to and trial and error, and it can be frustrating at times, but you have to remember that it's all for the better. It's all for the greater down the road, and yes, I was very frustrated at times. I mean, I think, well, at one point I came home from work and Andrea was throwing every candle out in the house that we had just purchased or received. And, you know, I like things that smell good. And I'm like, what are you doing? We just, like, this is crazy. And once, you know, I kind of got off that kick and just let Andrea tell me a little bit more and understanding why, you know, it made sense and it was okay. But at that moment in time, you know, you walk in and she's just throwing stuff out and you're like, what's happening right now? So that was frustrating, but all for the better.
So then I reached out to my friend Lori, who'd been in my Bible study, and I said, hey, I know that you'd been using these essential oils with your 24-week preemie, and that they've been working with her because she'd had some lung issues. And we can't keep living like this. Like in the beginning, I was saying, I threw out all the candles and all the air fresheners, and Steve's kind of mad. And I feel like your house smells good, and can you help me? And I knew it was safe with kids because she'd used it around her preemie. And she was like, yeah, let me come over and I'll show you the premium starter kit. And you guys, you know that there's something for sale on Facebook every day. Like, I did not want to be sold. And I was like, all right, I mean, okay. So she comes over and I said, look, I just want a diffuser and like some lemon or something because it smells like the trash can no matter how many times we take the trash out. Like, I just need something. And she said, well, what you're talking about with the babies you miscarried and with Hudson's illness and things, she said, did you know that in this box you can trade out, when we later learned, save $300 on toxic in-store stuff? And I said, Lori, these are oils and a diffuser. Like, there's no way that that's going to replace like my cleaners. And she's like, no, it will. And so I later found out that premium starter kit that we decided, and at that point, after all of my research, you were pretty on board with the premium starter kit.
Yeah, I was willing to give it a try. And I was willing to try something new and see what it could potentially do, for sure.
We didn't really know where to start to live a healthy life.
All I knew is we were throwing away candles.
I know, okay.
That's all I knew.
That's true. Because I'd read the article about no cancer survivor or cancer patient should ever be around a synthetic fragrance, and I freaked out because...
That's why they don't let flowers into the recovery rooms and stuff.
Well, that's different. That's not synthetic. We're talking about like synthetic fragrance.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Anyway, so we learned that getting that premium starter kit with the 11 oils diffuser, Thieves household cleaner. We literally threw every cleaner in the house out for this one household cleaner. It's unbelievable. And this Ningxia drink, that's part of our wellness. And once the toxins were removed from our house, our immune system started getting better. We weren't sick as much anymore. We started just breathing easier, if that makes sense. And we were saving money at the store, because we didn't have to buy that stuff anymore. And then I said, okay, well, that takes care of this amount of stuff that we have to buy. What about soaps and shampoos and all this other stuff? And I learned about Essential Rewards, which is this program that they have that basically the stuff that we get, we budget out how much we can afford each month. So if the kids need shampoo and I need makeup or something, and that's all we can afford that month, that's what we get. Young Living gives us money back, and that's cool because we don't get that at the store. And then it's also really nice because it comes straight to the house. And then I use my makeup, it's safe, toxin free. I dilute the kids stuff because all of those things that are soaps and stuff like that are all concentrated. And so I take this much soap and I put it into another jar and fill the rest with water. And now the kids have soap for the year. And then the next month, we picked whatever else we need. Like, we need hand soap now. Well, I'm going to dilute that. And now we've got hand soap for the next however many months. So that's how we ended up saving so much money. And then unexpectedly, tell them what happens with, like,
Well, you have to think about it. At first, we were thinking, like, we weren't thinking about replacing stuff. We were thinking this is going to add to.
Right.
Like, we weren't taking anything away. I mean, outside of the candles we were throwing away. But, like, the cleaners and stuff, like, we weren't necessarily taking that away and thinking about it and that's from that perspective.
Ditching and switching.
Yeah, until, it took a little bit of time to realize that and then actually sit down and do the math and look at the numbers and say to yourself, oh, wow, this is a better option. Not only is it healthier, but it is lasting longer, and we're not having to buy as much, and which means we're using less, which is better for us and the environment, and it just is a snowball effect.
And financially. And I thought, oh man, I'm asking what he thinks about us doing this, and Young Living's expensive, and I was so scared. But at the point, we kind of thought about it like organic food. Like, oh, well, if it's an expense, like, we're willing to invest in our health. And then it turned out to be cheaper and more cost-effective and easier. And I don't have to take the kids through every aisle at Kroger anymore. And and it keeps me out of Target, which makes him happy. So that was nice. So then, okay, let's fast forward 2.5 years later. Because that's now. Because we got it 2.5 years ago. Hudson was 2.5. Now he's 5. What would you say? How do you think life's different now?
I would say it's a lot. That we're not as sick near as much. I mean, I think the last time we got sick was just a couple weeks ago, but before that it was, gosh, I don't even remember when the last time it was.
Like the beginning of the school year, maybe?
I don't even think we got sick at the beginning of the school year. So considering that Andrea is a former teacher and used to bring everything under the sun known to man home, I would get sick on a regular basis.
Well, then the kids went to school.
And then the kids went to school when she came home. And they brought everything home. And it's been, not near as bad. And if I do get sick, like I was just sick, I started feeling sick right before, 2 days before Christmas. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a bummer Christmas. I'm going to be sick and whatever. And I started taking Thieves hourly, and I rest a little bit, and I was able to go to Christmas and enjoy the family the next day and felt fine, and
because
great.
His body was supported. It's not some magical cure. It's just that you're supporting your body's not made to be sick, and so when you're giving yourself what it needs, like, that's really nice. So we feel like we took back our health because we just got so sick and tired of hearing that there was nothing we could do. We got sick and tired of spending a ton of money at the doctor's office just to hear that there was nothing that they can do. I mean, what can they do when it's a virus, right? And we got tired of pumping our kids full of red Tylenol that we knew was hurting their liver. I didn't need research to tell me that, right? We know that, you guys. We know that Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, that stuff's not good for us, right? And I don't pop sinus tablets every single month anymore. I mean, that was a big part of our expenses, was just keeping my sinuses together.
Keeping the meds in the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, and we don't have to do that anymore. Or buying, we got rid of 16, I think, different cleaners and wrinkle release and all these kinds of things for one bottle that breaks down into 27 bottles. I mean, it's crazy. So we just feel like we don't have to sit around too. As parents, we're really empowered. Like, we don't have to go, well, what do we do? How's he going to get better? His cough is out of control. And when do we take him? And Cohen had a fever 103.8 the other night. And
gone in a day.
Within the hour, it wasn't gone, but it was down to like manageable. But within the day, it was gone.
But the next day, he was up running around like a kid.
So it's our health, and then it's also future generations. I felt like this decision was bigger than us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just our kids, because our grandparents and great-grandparents, it goes the 4 generations. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have the internet. And now that we know better, we have to do better. But we can make it fit our budget. I think it goes for anyone. So we just wanted to come on here and share with you our story and our journey, and that it wasn't just one day Steve and Andrea Marshall decided we're going to do Young Living and we're going to make it our business. It was literally this confusing, scary, hard time. Can you come stand right here, bud? Cohen just came down from bed. And then we made the decision. And then we used it for like 6 months. We used it for like a year. And then I realized that I couldn't just keep this to myself, and I needed to tell other people about it. Because if it could make our family healthy, then how am I not going to make other people healthy? And sharing that, especially with my fellow cancer moms, has been a really good feeling. It feels like I can do something for those families. And getting on here and telling you guys about it, it just feels really good to know that we can help just serve other families in that way.
And just let you know that there's other options, and that there's lots of resources out there, and you don't have to do all the work. You know, Andrea and I have done a lot of work already. Mainly Andrea has done a lot more work on researching this stuff and fact finding and validating the information. It's not just, Googling, I have a sore throat, and then you find on WebMD that you're dying, because when the reality is you just have a sore throat. So, that kind of stuff. So it's really nice. And we just want to let you guys know that we're here as a resource. So if you have questions, or you're not sure what to do or where to begin, or whatever, we can help you find a good starting point, and help you even with just simple things out the gate to give it a try and see how things go and fit your needs and your budget and your time frames and whatever you need. So we just want to let you know that we're here as a resource, and we're happy to do what we can to answer any questions or anything that you have about just being toxin free.
And our home is open, you guys. If you want to try the oils, I got to see the oils and try the oils and see that they worked and smell that I had tried different kinds of oils, and I've matched them up against all different kinds of oils out there in the store, the other fancy labeled brands. And when I pressed against, because of our situation with Hudson and our babies that we'd lost, it mattered to me after this research that I'd found, what is in it? How do you make these oils? Why are you saying that they're therapeutic? Why are you saying that they're pure? No one could answer me. No one would answer me. They would push back with reasons why I should just believe them. The only company that had answers that fit what I needed, which was non-GMO, from in the ground to never being sprayed by anything, not even organic pesticides, to being distilled only one time, to being bottled and checked and rechecked and then sent to us, was Young Living. And when they had no hesitation to say, and if you don't believe us, Andrea, come on out. Anywhere in the world, any farm, because we own them, come on out and your family can come and see that we mean what we say. And to me and to Steven, that mattered, because same thing. And no one else could put their money where their mouth was. And we weren't going to invest in a company once we started this business, this small business, we weren't going to put our family's name on something that wouldn't even stand up and back up their own claims and beliefs. And so that is why we chose Young Living over anyone else. We get that question a lot, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. So Young Living Premium Starter Kit. I like the Desert Mist because it's 10 hours and it's pretty cool. Premium Starter Kit, Essential Rewards, that's what most people do. It's just the way to go. And then once you click the link that I'll put in the profile, or in the comments, it's getting late, and you get going, then you get added to a group of people who have their files and resources and people who help you with educational videos. You think you learn from us, there's this whole other world out there that you haven't even seen yet, full of people who are like-minded and think just like you and want natural answers. but they're being quiet on Facebook because we feel like the freaks. Like, we feel like the weirdos. But once you're in this group where everyone feels the same way, you're like, oh, I'm not alone.
It's like Aladdin on the magic carpet. It's a whole new world.
I can't. Why? Guys, we're going to go after that. Have a good night. And please let us know if our family can help yours in any way. Do you want to say bye, weirdo?
Good night. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, bye.